Alright then guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today, what we're going to be doing, back on the Escort. Today I'm going to be showing you fitting some day running lights and, well, not just specifically to this car, but to any car really. It's a universal kit, I suppose, that you can buy. Just buy some lights really, simple as that, you know. We're going to be installing them with this module today, so they're going to be all controlled nicely without us having to do anything for the lights, as in like turn switches on or anything like that. It's all going to be done automatically for us using this controller you can buy. You don't necessarily need to buy a controller, but I'll talk about these in depth a little bit later on anyway. So let's get started. Oh yeah, and also I'm joined by my mate Lewis here, so you know. Okay, so we've got one of the lights installed on the car where I wanted it. Now obviously you can put the lights wherever you want. There are specific regulations depending on your area on where different lights can be, and day running lights do have a specific, they have to be so far off the floor and so far apart. So this is where I decided to put them. So I've obviously got my club logo here, my club sticker. This is the driver's headlight, and I wanted it in line with that down here. Now I've measured it, both sides are 5 inches from the headlight down. So now what I'm going to do is go and fit the other side, which here Lewis has got in his hands, and I'm going to show you how we do that next. And all I'm going to do is, so I know it's in the right place, I'm going to measure 5 inches down each side, so I know it's level and it's going to be in the same place then. I'm just going to measure the distance across there, so I know it's sat in exactly the right place. And then I'll show you how we fit these things. So we know on that side, the light is 5 inches down, and I've just measured it's 2 across. So I'll look about 2 inches across, and we can start from about there. Now I've got a little bit of speck of dirt there, so that's really handy for marking that, so I can note that. And then 5 down is in line with that speck of dirt, so I know I just need to line it up with there and there, so across there. So I'm just going to line the light up into them like that, and we're just going to double check that just to be certain. So yeah, it's about right. And yeah, that is there. So next thing is to note where we're going to have this light, which is there. I've decided about there. Now look, we've got a wire here. Now, depending on how you want to go about this, if you're going to go for a proper permanent install, you're going to want to put a hole in, run the wire inside the bumper, which is how I'm going to do it. But there is a little cutout here, so technically speaking, if you wanted a less permanent install, so you can undo it again in the future, you can just run the wire up and somewhere out of the way. It's a black wire, you know, tuck it inside like that or something like that. It's a black wire, it's not going to be too noticeable on a black car or a dark car like that anyway. But yeah, that's where I'm going to want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hole in, push the wire through, and I'll be back in just a second. I do love the exhaust of that.
Is it just a TT or TTRS?
I just hit the exhaust, now it's a Audi. Oh, that's lovely, that is.
I know yours is louder though.
Okay, now you've got your old penetrated, what you're going to do is, yeah, that stuff. You need good old soapy water and a cloth, and all we're going to do is just clean up the area. So soapy water, just because obviously it's, you know, clean, it's not going to be greasy, it's not going to have any kind of wax or polish in there. It's going to cause it to not stick well, because these are self-adhesive, they have glue on the back. So just make sure that area is nice and clean, ready to go sticking, just like you would if you're sticking stickers on or anything else onto anything really. You make sure it's nice and clean, perfect, minted, whatever you want to call it. So you've got your hole, which you can see there, because it's, yeah, chipped the paint a bit, that's fine, because it's going to be covered up by this. So we're going to thread the wires through. So I'm just going to twist them together because they're exposed at the end, just so they fit through the hole. This way you find your hole's not big enough and they don't actually come out. Like that, there you go, perfect. Okay, so you can see now, that will line up really nicely like that. So, just double check now, double measure. 5 inches down is about there. 2 inches across is about there, and then we can centre it by looking at 5 inches down again, which is about there. So now, just pull the, I like eyeballing things in case you didn't realise. Tape off like so. So again, 2 inches across, 5 down, and then centre it, 5 down, and just stick it on. It's as easy as that. Look at that. Simple as that. And then what we've got, wherever they've gone, I think Lewis has sat on them. Oh no, yeah, he's got them here. The little screws in these case. So these are a little bit of a nightmare to get started, but just want a little small screwdriver of the crosshead or Phillips variety. Like really tiny screws, I don't know if you can see that. Tiny. And I'm just gonna screw it in, obviously. And they're a nightmare, these screws. And here goes the last little screw. Now these are purely just as an extra measure to make sure we're not going anywhere. The glue's plenty strong enough, to be honest. But there it is fitted. So the next job is the fun part. That's wiring. Okay, so what we're going to do is, this is the module here. Now I'm going to fit this. Then these are the bolts out of the headlights, so just put them in there. I'm going to fit this underneath here and put a screw through there, which is going to hold the module in place under there. And then all the wiring we've got here is really simple, really. So you got this here goes off to the battery. You got ground and 12 volt with an inline fuse. So that's going to go off to the battery. I'm going to wire this up slightly differently, but that's going to go off to the battery. This goes off to your ignition. So when you turn the ignition on, it switches the lights on. This one goes off to the headlights. So when you turn the headlights on, it dims down the day running lights. And these two are the day running light feeds. Now I've already chopped the connectors off the end. I'm running 2 day running lights in the bumpers, and at a later date, which I'm not going to fit in today because they haven't arrived, but at a later date we fit in 2 day running lights in the headlights. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to run one feed off to my bumper, and then one feed's going to go to the headlights. So in this case then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this one feed, which I've already chopped the connector off. There's a little hole just down here where my bonnet release catcher cable comes through. I'm just going to pull the cable through here, like so. That's going to run it nice and neatly down where I need it, and this module will then bolt up where I said behind here, and the cable will run nice and neat through that hole, like that. Simple. So I'm just going to bolt that on now, and then I'll be back. Okay, so on the inside of the bumper, this obviously comes from one light, this comes from another light, and what I've done is there's 3 wires: ground, the day running light, which is white, and the indicator, which is yellow. So ground's common, that's just a common ground point, and then you just got, when the power goes to red, it lights up white, power goes to yellow, it lights up orange, indicators. So what I've done is I've took some connectors here, and I've run both the black and red from both sides onto this one connector, which is going to go to our day running light module, and then the yellow wire from each side has gone to this connector into each individual pins on this. So on this one they've joined together like so. On this one they're going to the individual pins, which matches up on the car. I don't even know what Lewis is doing. He's doing something with my coolant. But the day running light module now is fitted under here. I don't know how well you can be able to see it. There. So that's fitted under there. The wiring runs down. I've now got 2 plugs. One's down here, which is going to plug in for the lights. This is from going to the day running lights. And this one's going from a feed to each side to the indicators, like so. So now we don't have to worry about the fact the lights are bolted to the bumper, it's wired up. We can just unplug everything and just pull it off anytime it's needed. So yeah, let's get the bumper back on, and then we just need to wire up the module, which is really, really simple. This is actually now my favourite part of the wiring part, because wiring the lights up is, I'm not going to lie, a horrible task. I don't like doing the lights, but I love doing this part. So yeah, this is my favourite part coming up now. Okay, so the bumper's pretty much back on now while Lewis puts in the final screw into the wing. I'm just going to show you the connections. So this is the one to the indicators, and then all you can do is just one-handed, because yeah,
This is an issue. Come in.
plug it in. And same for the day running lights, which is down there, and then just, oh, there you go, plug it in like that, done. And they'll all tuck out the way and be nice and tidy, and you can unplug it and take the bumper off at any time. What have you broke?
No, it's not the door. It's not gone behind.
The wheel arch liner, that's fine. Oh, it's starting to rain. No, okay. Donut. Starting to rain, lovely. So, we're left here with just a few more wires. So we've got blue to the battery, these which you're not going to bother about for now, and to the headlights. So, these are the day running lights, which I'm not going to connect up yet. We're just going to tie them out of the way and forget about them for now. This just needs to run off the battery, and that'll be it. So the battery's over there. It's not going to reach, as you can see. I'll extend the wiring and deal with that in a moment. White goes to the headlights, so that just needs to go onto this wire here, which I've already got in. And that will basically dim them down when the headlights are switched on. And then blue goes to the ignition, which is what switches the control module on. So yeah. Lewis wants to do the honours for us. Let's have a look. So ignition on, and left indicators, and right indicators. Nice. Ignition off. Perfecto.
Hazard.
Oh yeah, do the hazard then. You don't need the ignition off, just hazard. Hazard, I guess. Maybe you're doing the ignition on then. Look at that. Sorted. And if you turn the hazards off, or no, leave the ignition on a second. And then headlights on. Oh yeah, they do dim down now. That's strange. Okay. That's really strange, that is, because they've just dimmed down. So if you, as they should. So turn the headlights off now. Okay, and turn them on. They're dimming down. Before, when I had them on the test bench, they were just switching off altogether. So that's fine. That is, I'm happy with that. They're working flawlessly. Must have been a voltage problem. Looking mint.